Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a mid to high level money making guide where I will show you 4 specific mid to high level methods. I'm going to be organizing these methods as to most accessible for players. So the first method is going to be a method that is more mid level, and then we're going to work our way towards some high level money making methods. I'll also link the timestamps in the description down below if you guys want to jump in between methods. And anyway, that is it for the intro, so let's get into the video. So the first method that I'm going to show you guys is collecting the Mort Myre Fungus. The requirements for this method are fairly low. You only require level 40 Thieving, 36 Woodcutting, and the Nature Spirit quest. Also, the Mauritania easy tasks are highly recommended. It'll actually allow you to double the fungi when you actually cast the bloom. So it is highly recommended because basically you'll double your profit. So if you do have the easy tasks completed, just make sure you're wearing your Mauritania legs 1 so you do get this effect. Also, you can make up to 5 mil per hour doing this method, so it is a really nice money making method for some mid-level players. However, the only downside about the method is that you aren't going to be getting any experience, so you're just going to be making money. So to start off with this method, you're going to want to start in Canvas, and you are going to want to run down to the spot that I have marked on the map. Now also, if you do notice, you will want to have your Silver Sickle B, which you will get from the Nature Spirit quest, so make sure you have that equipped. This is how you will be getting the Mort Myre fungi. Also, if you do have the Mauritania legs 1, make sure you have those equipped as well. And then in your inventory, just make sure that you do have a prayer renewal because it will be costing 30 prayer points each time you cast Bloom. So once you get down to this location, you'll want to stand in this exact tile. That is because when you cast Bloom using your Silver Sickle, it will actually hit each of the 3 logs, allowing you to have 3 chances to get the Mort Myre fungi. So that's why this is the best spot to do it. Now, when you do get a full inventory, you can run up to the Campus Bank to deposit it. However, if you do have the Deadliest Catch quest completed, there is a deposit chest, which is south, that you can deposit with instead. Now, as I mentioned, doing this method, you will make about 5 mil per hour, especially if you do have the Mauritania legs 1 on. And that is because the Mort Myre fungus is an ingredient into the super energy, meaning there is quite a bit of demand for it since it is a good secondary ingredient just to make this potion for herblore training. Now, although this is a pretty accessible moneymaker for some mid-level players, it might not be the best one for you just because you don't get any experience while you are doing it. So do keep that in mind. I wouldn't recommend you guys do this method for a really long time, but if you're looking to make some quick cash, it is a good option. Now moving on to this next method, it's making sacred oil. This is also located in Mauritania, and it does have some pretty low level requirements, so some mid-level players could do this. The only requirements are the Shade of Morton minigame. It also does have some prerequisite quests that you will want to complete as well. And then having at least 1 Barros Brothers kill is also really helpful. That is because you will gain access to the Barros Brother portal in the PVM hub, and that's a nice quick way of getting here as well as a quick way of getting back here when you do bank your items. Otherwise, you can complete the In Aid of Myre quest, which will allow you to access the bank in Berderat. Now, also recommended is a high combat level. That is because if you do kill the shades here, you will be getting more of the sanctity, which I will discuss later. And also a Beast of Burden is really helpful just because it will allow you to stay here longer, making more sacred oil per hour. So there are actually quite a few steps to making sacred oil. First off, you will want to go to the general store near the Shades of Morton temple. As you can see, it does have some ingredients here. You're going to want to buy the tar, the limestone brick, as well as the timber beams. I suggest buying 50 of the swamp paste, the 10 limestone bricks, and 10 timber beams. You'll need this just to increase your resources on the temple. Also, I should really mention that you should do this on World 88. It is the official Shades of Morton minigame world. So that's where you will find some other players doing this as well because it is extremely hard to do solo, so you'll need to wait and see if other people are doing it on this world. However, they usually are, especially during the day when a lot of people are on. So once you do have these ingredients, you will want to start repairing the temple with them. If you don't already have 100 resources, it will increase and you'll use these resources in your inventory. However, as you can see, I already have 100 resources, so I'm not actually using them right now. Now in that case, once you get to 100 resources, you will want to go back to the shop and buy the olive oil from the general store. Now this olive oil is only in 3 doses, so you will be making a bit less sacred oil. However, the olive oil 4 dose, it isn't really sold on the Grand Exchange often, and if it is way overpriced. So I do highly recommend you guys buy the 3 doses from the general store. Also, it doesn't use as much sanctity, so it is pretty efficient, but I would suggest you guys just making a ton of the sacred oil 3 doses and then just go and bank them and come back either using the PVM hub, teleport to the Barrows Brothers, or you can use the Bergerot banking method and then just walk back. Now, as I mentioned, doing the combat is actually the fastest way to gain sanctity. So if you do have a high combat level and a 2-handed weapon, I would highly recommend doing this. You can use your AoE abilities on the shades when they do all accumulate, and you can get your sanctity pretty fast. Otherwise, if you are a pretty low level player and you're just looking to do this to make some money, you can just repair the temple and you'll get the sanctity that way. Also, you do get some decent XP from this as well. If you're a pretty mid-level player, you will actually gain some levels in crafting, fire making, and combat if you are killing the shades. So it is a pretty decent money-making method. You'll make around 5 mil per hour getting this sacred oil, and then also you get a little bit of XP as well. Now moving on to our third method, we have the Anachronia agility course. So you can make codex pages from the agility course here, and the only requirement is level 85 agility. It is a bit of a high requirement, but some of you mid to high level players probably do have it. And you can actually make a surprising 7 mil per hour doing this, and it is a lot of agility XP per hour as well. You get about 180,000 agility XP per hour and the 7 mil GP per hour, so it is a really good method for mid to high level players. Basically, all you're going to have to do for this method is run through the Anachronia agility course, and you will be accumulating the codex pages while you go through the course. Now also recommended for this method is Surge and Double Surge, as well as Bladed Dive and the Mobile perk. It'll just help you go through the course a little bit faster, so increasing your amount of codex pages you get per hour. So if you go to the Anachronia base camp, you can study on the lectern here, and you can see that you can make the codexes. So there is an untradable version for 500 codex pages, and then there's the tradable version for 750. So in order to make money and sell these, you will want to make the tradable codex pages. I recommend making the Double Surge codex since it is the one that is used most by players. And these codexes are worth about 50 mil each right now, and assuming you do get around 9 laps per hour, you should be able to complete these codexes in about 7 to 8 hours. So it will take quite a while before you can actually make profit on this method. However, once you do get one of these, you are going to be making about 50 mil profit as soon as you make the codex. The agility course itself is pretty straightforward to go through. You can go through either end to complete the course. It is sometimes a little bit difficult to see where the next obstacle is, especially in a few spots where you're going through the big game hunter arenas. But basically, you'll just want to follow the beaten down paths as well as the white little marks on the obstacles, and that should help you guys find where to go. Now moving on to the last method that I want to show you guys, it's killing the Dagannoth Kings. So this is a boss, and it is a fairly mid-level boss. The only recommendations are about 80 melee ranged and magic stats. You will want all 3 of these because this is a boss where you will need to use all 3 combat styles. Also, 92 prayer with soul split is super helpful. It makes this boss a lot easier. The Fremenic Sea Boots is another nice upgrade. So if you do have the Fremenic task 4 completed, You can wear these. It will allow the Dagannoth Kings to drop noted bones, and you'll also deal 10% more damage against the Dagannoth Kings with auto attacks and 5% more with abilities. Another really nice item to wear is the Dagannoth mask. So this actually will increase your profit by 10% because you get an extra drop every 10th kill. So it is a really useful mask to wear. Now, as I mentioned, you will want to use all 3 combat styles against the Dagannoth Kings. So this is my recommended setup. As you can see, I am using all 3 combat styles. So I have the Saren God Bow for my ranged weapon, as well as my Anima Core of Zamorak body and legs, because they have a high ranged bonus. Then I also brought my Noxious Staff with my Pernix armor for my mage gear, as well as the Noxious Scythe and the Masterwork armor for the melee gear. As you can see, I am using the hybrid armor for the helmet, boots, and glove slot. As I mentioned, the best to wear for the helmet slot is the Mask of the Dagannoths for that extra drop every 10th kill. As for the boot slot, the Fremenic Boots 4 are the best to wear, and the Cindermane gloves are the best in the glove slots that they do provide poison against the Dagannoths, and they are also hybrid gloves. Now, Dagannoths actually do hit quite hard, so you will want to bring a Holy Overload if you do have one, and then also bring some prayer potions because you will want to be using Soul Split the entire time. Now, if you are using this setup with the Holy Overload and Soul Split, you shouldn't really need any food, especially if you are bringing Enhanced Excalibur. It's a nice item to use every 5 minutes just to heal yourself up. So if you have these 3 essential things, then you won't really need any food, and you'll just want to bring some extras just in case of emergency. So basically, the fight against the Dagannoth Kings, it is fairly simple. There's going to be 3 different Dagannoth Kings. There's the blue one. Now this one is weak to range, so that's when you're going to want to switch to your ranged weapon and armor. And you'll want to just attack it. I would also recommend just using your threshold abilities rather than saving up for the ultimate ability, just because you will be killing it fast. You'll need to switch your combat style after. Now, this sort of greenish Dagannoth King, you'll want to use your melee gear against. Again, try not to use Berserk because you will be killing him relatively quickly, and then you'll need to switch to your mage gear for the red Dagannoth. That is basically it. You're just going to be switching through your combat styles, attacking each Dagannoth with the correct combat style. If you guys forget which one to use, you can see that when the damage tag pops up on top of the Dagannoth, you can see its weakness, so just use that as a guide as well. Now, the reason why Dagannoths are so good for money right now is that you can kill over 100 per hour, probably 150 if you're pretty good. And the rings right now, they're going through the right roof in terms of price, because the new Rex Matriarch, the brand new 3 Rexes, which are going to be able to provide upgraded versions of the rings that the Dagannoth Kings drop, are going to be released very soon. So the prices for all 4 of these rings are going really high. They're only a 1 in 128 drop chance, meaning you'll probably get around 1 to 2 per hour, and they are going for over 1 or 2 mil each, so the prices on them are insane. You'll probably make well over 10 mil per hour doing this method, and as I mentioned, it isn't even that difficult as long as you have these requirements. You could do it even with less, however it would be a little bit more difficult, and you might need some food in that case. Overall though, this method is quite fun since you are actually doing some bossing, and you do actually have a pretty high chance at getting these rings worth a few mil each. So anyway guys, that is it for today's mid-level money making guide. Those are the 4 methods I have for you. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more content like this. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.